Welcome, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar, 5 Awesome Social Media Strategies You Aren't Using, but You Should. My name is Eliana Raggio, and I'll be your moderator today. And today's webinar is being presented by Aren. And for anyone who isn't familiar with Aren, well, we're an award-winning website development company and digital agency, and we're best known for our search engine optimization, our best-in-class customer service, and our award-winning websites. Aren was named the top-rated website provider by Driving Sales in 2011, 2012, and 2013, and Aren customers have been winners of the Digital Dealer Website Excellence Awards, highly coveted overall winner, and unprecedented 5 times in a row. We're the only website company that can claim that. We're so committed to lead conversion, optimization, and customer service that we're the only company in the industry to offer a money-back lead guarantee program. So, does your website company guarantee you a 50% lift in leads? Well, then maybe you should check us out at dealeron.com. And we have a great show in store for you today. We're very pleased to have Rachel Harrow as our presenter today. Rachel Harrow is the owner of Mouthful Social Media, which provides its dealership clients with a clear and consistent all-in-one solution for social media, custom video email templates, SEO, SEM, PPC, and reputation management. With over 15 years of traditional marketing experience, Rachel has spent the last 12 of those working with top dealerships, automotive vendors, and professionals from across the country on strategic, grassroots video, email, and social media advertising. Blending the conventional principles of marketing with outside-the-box thinking, Rachel's strategies and custom video email templates have been featured at Jim Ziegler's Internet Battle Plan conferences and highlighted in Dealer Marketing magazine. Rachel is a native San Francisco Bay Area resident, and she can be reached at rachel@mouthfulsocialmedia.com. Now, during the presentation, if you have any questions, please use the question feature located on the corner of your screen to submit them. At the end of the presentation, we'll answer those questions of general interest. If we're unable to get to your question live, don't worry. We'll respond by email later today. Also, don't forget, a link to download a copy of this webinar recording will also be emailed to you later today for your reference. Please feel free to share it with friends and colleagues. And I also want to let you know that Aren will be at the upcoming Digital Dealer Convention in Atlantic City, May 6th through the 8th. And we'll be at booth 623. It's going to be awesome. So if you're going to be there, please come to our booth and say hi. Also, we're going to have some speaking sessions from 2 of our EVPs at Aren. You definitely don't want to miss them. And if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, well, then Aren is here to help with an exclusive discount code that's going to save you $100. Just use the discount code on the screen when you register. And for more information or to get your tickets, go check out digitaldealerconference.com. And guess what? Our good friends at Mouthful Social Media are giving away a fantastic prize today on today's webinar. One of you lucky webinar attendees is going to win 3 months of free comprehensive Facebook management from Mouthful Social Media. For more information about their amazing services, please visit mouthfulsocialmedia.com. But let me tell you, this amazing prize is valued at $2,300. All you have to do is stay tuned for details after Rachel's presentation, and you could be walking away with this amazing prize today. Also, at the conclusion of this webinar, you're going to receive a short survey. Please fill it out because we're always looking for quality feedback from our audience. Today we're going to randomly select a couple of people from all the completed surveys to also win some Google prizes. So let's get started. Let's learn 5 awesome social media strategies you aren't using, but you should. Rachel Harrow, how are you, my friend?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you.
Well, thank you everyone for attending. I really appreciate it. Super excited to show you all this great stuff. So that, I know
audience, let me just tell you real fast, she was referred to us by our friend Jim Ziegler, and from everything that I've seen and heard so far, this proves to be an amazing presentation. While you're at it, we have a lot of hashtags for you, so if you want to get involved online on Twitter, perfect chance to do so. So, Rachel, what are the kinds of things we're going to be learning about today?
Okay. Well, here we go. Let's take a look at some of our objectives. We're going to start right away with increasing organic reach. This is something that's a hot topic with a lot of people. I know you're all hearing about statistics and what's going on. So that's the first thing that I want to take a look at. Also, along those lines, I want to show you how you can encourage interaction. So, and I say encourage because a lot of times people will say, I want to increase my interaction. Okay, all right, well, let's encourage it. Let's encourage it and we'll increase it. We're also going to learn how to create killer content for maximum engagement. So we're going to encourage that interaction, and then we're going to maximize engagement. Plus, and this is a big deal to me, organize and keep it manageable. Too many times people are overwhelmed with their social media strategy, and they just kind of let it fall to the wayside because they don't really know how to handle it. They don't know how to pre-plan. And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. But my all-time favorite, I love, I always say everything's my all-time favorite. I love to take it offline. So I'm going to make a few suggestions at the end of my presentation as to how you can use those online relationships, foster them, actually create them, and produce offline lead opportunities. And so yeah, all right. With that, and then we're also going to, of course, finish with a question and answer session. So please, please, please do save your questions because I want to hear them and do my best to answer them. And with that, I think that we have a poll question. Is that right?
Yes, we do. Audience, we're starting off early with a couple of poll questions for you. So please, if you wouldn't mind, look at your screen and get involved. We love it when you get involved.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Or why? Did you go someplace? Rachel, are you there?
Hello?
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Let's answer this poll question. Does your dealership currently have a social media marketing strategy in place? Please select one of the following options. Yes, and we're killing it on social media. Yes, but we're not really doing a great job. No, but we're thinking about it. That's why we're here today. No, our dealer is so cheap.
Okay.
We still have rotary
I'm told you guys
phones.
can hear me. All right, I couldn't hear Eliana.
And I'm not sure
so
the
here
value
we go.
and
So we're going to go ahead and start.
Social media.
I can hear you now.
Okay, good.
Thank you. I was starting to panic.
Don't panic. Don't panic. We could hear you the whole time, by the way, Rachel. I just couldn't keep
Yeah,
yelling
did you
at
hear me? Did you hear me almost start screaming and crying, help, help? No, okay. All right, leave it to me.
We heard you the whole time. Okay, but the votes are coming in fast and furious, and audience, we really, really appreciate it when you get involved. And yes, I know, I spelled not incorrectly, and it says nut really. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, so now that we have a majority of the votes, let's close this poll because we're going to follow it up with a second poll question really quickly. So let's close this poll and share the results. So, just so you know, 27% of today's audience said yes, and we're killing it on social media. 56% of today's audience said yes, but we're not really doing a great job. 11% of today's audience said no, but we're thinking about it. That's why we're here today. Only 3% of today's audience said that their dealer is so cheap they still have rotary phones. And 2% still aren't sure of the value or ROI of social media. So, audience, thank you so much for answering that poll question. And if you liked that one, well then hopefully you'll get involved with this one as well. We want to know which social media networks your dealership is currently fully utilizing. Now that's the key, fully utilizing, and please select all the options that apply to you. Which ones are you fully utilizing? It's not enough just to have a Google Plus page. Are you actually using it? That's what we want to know. So, are you fully utilizing LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, or Pinterest, or a combination of many of those, or all of those, for instance? So what we want to know is which ones are you fully utilizing? Oh, I love how many people are getting involved in this question. This is awesome. Thank you so much, audience. This is going to be amazing. Wait till you see the answers on this one, Rachel. Because I know we talked about this a couple days ago, you and I, and you were curious about which ones were most popular. Well, you're going to find out right now. Audience, thank you so much. I'll give you another couple seconds to get your votes in. And Rachel and audience, here we go with the answers to this one. Well, let me tell you, 96% of today's amazing audience said that they're on Facebook. That is by far, hands down, the overall winner, 96%. 62% of today's audience said that they fully utilize Twitter. 52% of today's audience says they put their attention on Google+. I'm really surprised and happily surprised at this. 20% of today's audience said that they're using Pinterest. And 17% of today's audience said that they're really involved with LinkedIn. What do you think about that, Rachel?
You know, I think, first of all, I'm really excited that everyone took the time to answer, but it actually doesn't surprise me. You know, I do see a lot of growth with Pinterest, LinkedIn especially. I am hearing from a lot of dealers, a lot of vendors, speakers, that they really are focused on LinkedIn. So as far as percentages go, it doesn't surprise me at all. But thank you. Very excited. So good deal. Well,
Excellent.
all right. Let's go ahead and jump into this and get started, because I really do want to show you exactly what it is that I came here to show you. So that being said, here we go. Ha! And of course, there we go.
There we go.
All right, so I mentioned to you, I have a few focuses here. I really want to focus on increasing organic reach and encouraging your interaction. So we're going to encourage likes and shares, and we're going to give reasons for people to comment. And so this is a strategy that I came up with. It was almost a year ago, and I was just trying to, well, do just this, get people to like our page, get them to interact, and I couldn't ask people, I couldn't get onto the dealership floor and beg people, beg the employees, team members, please, can you guys comment, can you do something, because they were busy. But what I did here is they wanted to really share exactly what was happening. So just to give you an idea as far as numbers go, 1 year ago in terms of reach, you could expect to reach about 16 out of 100 fans. Now you're lucky if it's 3 out of 100. And I know people are saying, gosh, it keeps decreasing even more. And by the way, these stats are from a Forrester wonderful survey that had some pretty ominous figures. But coming up with this strategy, I thought, how can I expand my reach? And I came up with something called a zigzag tag. I was actually posting on a Facebook page, and I wanted to cross-promote another social network, Pinterest, as a matter of fact. But the problem is I didn't like the thumbnail that they gave me to choose from. I just thought it was ugly, and so I thought, okay, I'll upload a new one. And I saved a photo that I thought was more appealing. I changed the title, and I had this dangling photo. And I thought, gosh, what do I do with it? And I'm going to show you exactly what I did with it. But I started tagging it. I actually popped out of the page because those of you who are actually out there managing your Facebook fan pages, you've got to know it's tough in terms of connecting with individuals. It's not like Twitter where you're 1 degree of separation from everyone, the individual, the business itself. Facebook is harder. You can really, you are limited to page-to-page interaction. And so when I had this dangling photo without a description, I thought, let me put a description in there, and I'll pop out of the page, and I'll tag the manager and just see what happens. Well, what happened was, and good, bad, and ugly, you can actually see an incredible increase that happened each and every time I would tag a photo. And so I'd post on the page, and then I would pop out and I would tag an individual. Well, the individual, the manager, began tagging others. And you can see this progression where it started out with a reach of 69,000. I mean, come on, 487,000 in reach. Now, what's interesting is you can actually tell we're not putting a lot of money on these pages, and we're increasing our likes. You can definitely see, and this was one that I was very proud of right here up at the top. This particular one with the 39 likes, 868 people engaged, 311,000 reach. This particular tag, what I did is I tagged one person who then went on to tag 48 other people. So this posting, this Facebook posting, appeared not only on the business page, but it actually appeared on the other pages. Now, I do want to bring up something because I know you're all going, that's so well and great, but come on, we've all been tagged. We're in the automotive industry, and we get tagged a lot, stuff that we necessarily don't want to be tagged on. So that being said, I'm going to let you know the reason why these numbers go up and down, the reason why you do see red sometimes, the reason why is because we don't do it every day. Maybe once a week we're tagging the team, and furthermore, we're tagging them in rotation. So I'm not even tagging the same people every week. And these are team members who are, number one, responsible. They're looking for a way to share what it is that they're doing, and they're actually out there on Facebook. Those of you who are in sales, you know, you are what you do. So you're always telling people what you do. If you look at my Facebook page, you're bound to notice a lot of automotive stuff. And so there are sales team members who really do want the opportunity to share what's happening with their dealership, but they just don't think about it. They're too busy. They don't really know. This is a way to get your sales team members involved. So again, I'm going to tell you, don't overdo it. And please, 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 absolutely do not tag people who don't want to be tagged. So that being said, I'm actually going to show you something that's pretty awesome here. And give me just a second here. And
She's almost there, audience.
I promise I am.
I know. I should have background music. I know. Jeopardy theme, something.
Ha!
There we go.
Here we go. Okay, so here we go. Now, Contact At Once, I do consult with them, and they've given me permission today to share this zigzag tag live right here. And so here's the great part. I'm actually going to tag someone who's probably out there. He's out there. CJ, I hope you're out here. Hope you're watching. So I've prepared a posting, and this is just a regular posting. Okay. CJ wrote a great article, and you can see right here, it's about online shopping is now the norm. I just kept it really short, just a super duper short posting. You can see I have my choice of different thumbnails, and this is where I ran into that issue because I just didn't like it. So first of all, we're going to spruce it up a little bit. And just for those of you who don't know, you absolutely can go ahead and remove that link once you're done here. And this is absolutely where I start to get all excited. So instead of, and you know what, pull this out here just a second. You can see I've actually prepared this. I'm going to just copy that link for a second. Okay. So now I know this is the thumbnail that's here. Okay, it doesn't matter. We're going to save it. We are going to save it. And you know what, let's go ahead and just save that. You know what, and you can see I've already done that one before. We're going to upload that image, and we're just going to grab it really fast. Boom. And we're going to right back down here to our description. We're going to cut and paste that. And don't worry, I'm going to show you another example of this. I'm moving pretty quickly. Something that I'm going to tell you is I look at posting I look at posting like Scrabble. I like to accrue as many points, as many bonus points as I can. And so when it comes to tagging or it comes to mentioning, I definitely am looking at it saying, all right, I want to get the biggest bang for my buck. So that being said, I've been given permission to mention Motorworks of Barrington. And we're going to go ahead and see if we can find them here. There they are. There you go, Brian. Brian from Motorworks gave me a shout out earlier. Okay, so we're just going to take a quick look. I do recommend that when you post, you just take a look at your description and that sort of stuff and make sure that it's exactly how you want it to be. For this posting, I'm just going to quickly see CJ Romig, and we're good to go. We're going to go ahead and post that. Now, here's the really fun part. Okay, you can see that I've posted that, and now when I go up here, I find that I have this blank photo because, remember, I deposited that photo. I uploaded it. I have no description. You can hear I get all excited when I talk about this. Yay. Okay. Now, remember, we're going to make it look really nice. We're just going to give it a little push there. All right, take a look at it. We like it. We're done editing. Now, here's the part where the zigzag happens. So, and you know what? Can I X out of this? Will this hurt anything up here?
I don't know what you can X out of anything. It's just showing whatever you're seeing on your screen. So whatever you put on your screen, it'll show it.
Gotcha. Okay, for some reason I have that little box there, and so I actually just wanted to get a clearer view. All right, so we're going to go right back up here. And just so you all know, I actually do log in the old-fashioned way. And here's the zigzag tag. Now remember, it's right there.
Okay.
Yes. We're going to tag that photo. There you go, CJ. What up? And you know what? I don't think I have.
Yeah, he was in the second one. You had him.
Oh, did I? Okay. You know what? We'll go ahead and do Aren. I believe Aren is here, and he's with Contact at Once. Thank you again.
Yeah, you had Ed Parkinson.
Did I? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. My moving a little faster.
There you go. He's down there. There you go.
Okay. All right. We're done tagging. So here's the really cool part. We're going to actually see what happens. We're just going to go ahead and leave that, and I'm going to pause you here for just a second while I switch back over to my PowerPoint. Okay, so there we go. That's the zigzag tag, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that run. We're just going to see how many likes we accrue because, and I know we're just about ready to do a survey here, but I want to do one more.
We did have a quick question from Michael. He says, in order to tag those people, you have to have them on your personal friends list, right?
Not necessarily. It's their tagging options. Some people you don't actually have to be friends with. You actually can tag people that you're not friends with. It just depends. And furthermore, they can choose whether or not to accept it. So be aware of that, again, you want somebody who's a willing participant, somebody who definitely wants to be tagged. So earlier, just at the beginning of this webinar, Andrew Lemaster gave a shout out from Kaufman. Now, I showed you on Contact at Once, and I know you're kind of wondering, okay, why did I do that? Again, I wanted to just let it run. Let's just see what happens when we let this zigzag tag run. We'll see how many likes we get. But here's the really cool part. Kaufman GMC is a little tiny dealership, third generation owned, and they're fantastic. Well, we were trying to find a way to kickstart this, to really get the interaction up. And so one day here I was, and I thought, gosh, I really want to personalize it. They didn't have a lot of photos on their website, but I went ahead and went to the staff profile, and I saw Andrew's face. Well, while I was there, they had a little instant messenger that happened to pop down. And so what I did is I took a snippet. So instead of actually saving the photo, what I did is I took a snippet, and I used that snippet for my upload photo. And you can see right here, I uploaded that photo, removed my link here, and it deposited right into the album section. And here were the results. When I looked back, I was pretty amazed, and I went ahead and took some shots the other day. You can see right here that what happened was the posting took on a life of its own. So the original posting that didn't have the tag, the one that appeared on the page, the first posting that I did when I uploaded the photo, that received, you can see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, great. So it received 6 likes. But what was funny is that dangling photo that appeared on Andrew's page, and again, this was with his permission, received 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Plus his aunt even commented. So, so yeah, I guess he had to call her. He went, come on, please, you're going to get me into trouble here. Sorry, Andrew. But no, so just taking a look at it, it's like, okay, so this photo took on a life of its own. And so I looked back at the statistics, and this was the really cool part. Again, this is a brand new, tiny page. They're just beginning with their online presence. Here were the stats for that week. Here's what happened with their reach. Here's what happened with their likes. They actually increased in likes organically. 42 new likes. The week before they had 1, brand new. 122 reach. It shot up to 1,559. The engagement, the people engaged, went up tremendously. Now, again, you don't want to overdo it, and I keep saying that. I'm emphasizing that because you're going to burn people out. Furthermore, I'm going to recommend that you keep it as a relevant topic. That posting that I was so proud of back at the beginning that I mentioned, 50 people, 49 people tagged plus the page. That was 100% rating straight across the board with reviews. This team worked very hard to earn that, and they all celebrated it. So it was something that mattered to them all. And that's the thing, is you want to make sure that it matters to the person that you're posting, and it's relevant, that it's interesting and engaging. And with that, I believe that we have a poll question.
Oh, well, actually, right before we get to that poll question, AJ had an interesting question. He wants to know, was that all organic, or was any of that paid?
Actually, that was organic that I just showed you with Kaufman. Now, I can go back. As far as paid goes, on those 25 likes that you saw and that sort of thing, there were some weeks where you could actually see, and I'm happy to go back at the end during the Q&A, by the way, AJ, and I'll go back to that slide and actually point out exactly where we put money on it. But I can tell you, there was no more than $20 a week on that page, period, to achieve that reach. So, I mean, when you're saying put money on it, $20 maximum. But I'll show you exactly which weeks there was $20 on it when there wasn't.
Okay. Okay, let's get to this poll question, audience. Here we go. The next poll question we have in front of you is on your screen now. We're waiting for your votes now. The question is, who is currently managing your dealership's social media? Please select one of the following answers. Is it an administrative assistant of some kind, maybe a part-time worker, or maybe possibly the receptionist at the dealership? Is it your internet sales manager who's doing it? Do you happen to have an in-house marketing person who's taking care of all of the social media for the dealership? Do you use a social media vendor? That would be cool. Or do you work in conjunction with a social media vendor? So you have a social media vendor and somebody at the dealership works with them to make sure that everything for the dealership's social media is getting done. So once we get a majority of those votes, we'll close the poll and we'll share the results. And oh my goodness, almost everyone's voted. This is fabulous. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is wonderful. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll give you another 5 seconds to get in your votes, and then we'll close this one and share the results. Are you ready for this, Rachel?
Yes.
All right. Let's see what happens. Okay, 44% of today's audience said that they use an in-house marketing person to manage their dealership's social media. 44%. That is by far and away the most answered for this question. Okay. Now the rest, they're kind of close to each other. 19% said that they work in conjunction with a social media vendor. 17% says that it's the internet sales manager at the dealership who does it. 11% said that they just use a social media vendor to take that off their hands. And 9% said that they use an administrative assistant, a part-time worker, or a receptionist. Does that help you out, Rachel?
It does, and the 9%, I'm going to ask you, please, please, please reconsider, really, uh, look at it this way. On average, just Twitter alone, I interact 1,100 times on an account with different people, whether it's customers, potential customers, disgruntled customers, team members, the community members, whoever it is. I'm out there as the voice of your business, and whoever it is that's representing you online is as well. So if you would trust that receptionist to greet each and every person walking in the door, if you feel that they're completely qualified to handle it all, by all means, let them. But please make sure that the person who handles your accounts, that they really are qualified and that they're capable. So important.
I thought you were going to comment on the Internet Sales Manager. 17% of today's audience say it's the Internet Sales Managers who, in whole, take care of the dealership's social media. Dude, how many Internet Sales Managers do we have out there today? You guys do so much.
You know what? Okay, and that's funny. Thank you for bringing that up, because that was something that we discussed when we were rehearsing. I said, I really want to know how many Internet Sales Managers, but I guess the 9% on the administrative assistant scared the heck out of me. But sorry. But no, it's true. You guys do so much. And I look at, what it is that you're constantly, oh man, everything that you manage, and the idea that you should also be an expert with social media. I'm so happy that you're here. These are really easy tricks and strategies that I think will make your life so much simpler. So glad you're here. We'll see if we can make it easier for you.
Okay, just so you know, we'll back up to this at some point, but I want you to keep going forward. But we had some people who still have questions about the zigzag tag. So we'll get to that at the end of the presentation, audience. But there are some people who are still confused about how to do the zigzag tag, or maybe we're wondering if you had like a step-by-step on how to do it. They kind of got lost on the whole zigzag tag thing. So we'll go over that a second time after you go over some more of these 5 awesome things that you're not doing on social media.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I promise once you get it, it's like, I get it. So yeah, I'm happy to answer questions on that because I love it. All right, we'll go ahead and move on. And 3, something that I promised you. Create killer content for maximum engagement. This is pretty critical, because you can actually see on some of those stats that I was really excited about where maybe the content wasn't as effective. Boy, I'll tell you, it tells you so much when you look at it, because I know exactly what I posted on that day and why that one belly flopped versus others. I had mentioned you want to keep it relevant. So very important to determine your voice and make sure that you're really talking about what they care about. But I'm going to leave you, just really, this is so critical. Your website should mirror your showroom floor. Those 2 need to mirror your social media. Your social media should mirror that. Those 3 should all work together. They should all be the very same voice. So if you're out online and you're talking about, oh gosh, I don't know, something really irrelevant with a voice that quite honestly you would never use on the showroom floor, it's the wrong voice. And when I say voice, using the word awesome, dude, that's awesome. You've got to check out this awesome vehicle. Okay, make sure it's relevant to your dealership. If you're maybe a little bit more conservative and you're not out there saying awesome all the time, which I don't know who isn't, but hey, it's a good word. But really, pay attention to how you're saying things. Make sure that you would say it exactly how you would say it on the showroom floor. But also very important, and earlier today, and I'll give another shout out to Brian at Motorworks, identifying your content sources. And content sources. What are you going to write about? When you get out there on Facebook, what are you going to write about? The biggest thing that I do when I get a new account is I identify my sources, my sources of content. And I always start, number 1, with the team. If I talk about something that they care about, chances are they're going to get involved. And so in the case of team members with different dealerships, I actually do see them on Facebook. I do have their permission, and I do ask, may I share this? May I share that you did this European delivery? May I share that you offer this? But people like to be praised, especially your team members. You know, Google and Facebook, and it's funny, you look at their bravado as a team. My sister has worked for both organizations, and I can tell you both organizations are pretty excited to be there. The team members are excited. So if you can build up your team online, you'd be amazed at what it's going to do in terms of having them just really get out there and celebrate your dealership and talk about what's happening, what's so great, and create that top-of-mind awareness. Start to create that buzz about your dealership. Man, number 2, your customers. They have a lot to say, too. Events. What's happening locally? Your philanthropic partners. And when I say philanthropic partners, there's a lot of really cool stuff that's happening in your community. And even if you're not paying for the sponsorship, there is no reason why on earth you're not out there saying, good job. Chances are they're out there because they want to be noticed, and actually AJ Meda is a wonderful example. He's constantly out there doing things within the community, supporting, giving shouts out, highlighting people. And I know I'm moving a little bit quickly here, but I see we're starting to zero in on time. But OEMs, you all receive a lot of information from your OEMs. Share applicable facts. Share things that you actually would care about. How to connect your Bluetooth, things that people can use. But most of all, what I'm going to tell you about your content, take your agenda off the table. Really. When people aren't liking what you have to say, when they actually don't like your posting, that means that they are talking to you. They're actually telling you they don't really care for your content. If you want to elicit a response, a nice, easy formula is yes, no, true, false, like. People don't always have a lot to say. If you say, what do you think about this? Not a lot. But if you ask them, like if you love this one, chances are they may like it. Or yes, no, true, false. There you go. And I believe we actually have a poll coming up again. So move right over.
Ah, there you go. You got it. All right, audience, we want to know, how much does your dealership currently spend on social media marketing per month? Please select one of the following options. Do you spend nothing? Is it less than $250? Is it between $250 and $500? Between $500 and $1,000? Or are you one of those dealerships who's spending more than $1,000 every month on social media marketing? Please have your votes heard, and once we get a majority of those votes, we'll close the poll and we'll share the results. And we have some people who are writing in their responses, and I love hearing from you, but if there's any way you can actually click on the radio button on the screen, that would be great. Although, if you're watching this from an iPad, you probably don't have that option on your iPad, unfortunately. So I totally understand you want to get your votes in. So thank you so much for that. And let's close this poll in just another couple seconds. Rachel, are you ready to see this?
I am.
What do you think the average dealership spends per month on social media marketing? Before I give you the answer.
I would say based on the fact that so many internet managers are handling it, not much. Not much. I would say, I would say not much. And the fact that if you combine, was it the 17 and the 9%, so I would say they're probably spending about $500 a month.
All right, let's see what the audience said. We're going to close this poll now and share the results. Well, the majority, 29%, said that they spend nothing. And going down the line, 27% of today's audience said that they spend less than $250. 21% of today's audience said that it's somewhere between $250 and $500. Only 10% said it's between $500 and $1,000, and an elite 13% said that they are spending more than $1,000 a month. What do you think?
Wow. Good for you all. I'm actually very impressed. So
Well, Well, we did have nearly a third of today's audience that said that they don't spend anything. How much, and so now we know what they are doing, and we know what you thought they were doing. How much should they be doing?
You know, I can't determine just a dollar amount. I think that, and one of the things that you'll hear me say, and when someone had asked, does that, I think it was AJ, does that, how, did you put money on that account, or did you, are you sponsoring anything?
Right.
I always say as close to zero as humanly possible, so I certainly don't believe in recreating the wheel, spending a lot of money, all of that, but I would say probably close to about $600 per network. I think that if you are not paying attention to Twitter, you're not paying attention. It's a wonderful tool. You can identify where your customers are and interact with them. But there's a few networks that you need to look at. I used to have a budget when I was in-house as a marketing manager of $150,000 a month straight across the board for 3 dealerships, and that included my radio, print, all of that good stuff. I don't think that you should have to spend near that amount in order to succeed. Social media is phenomenal because you've been able to bypass as far as a lot of print goes and all of that. So I'd say about $500, $600 per network a month, I think is reasonable. And I know there's some people who are going to kill me for that, but I know. And I do recommend that if you can't afford full management, that you look into a situation where you have somebody properly trained, maybe get somebody who can clean it up and run it and then pass it along, because at least get on the right track. At least get out there and get trained. So, yeah.
All right, I was going to say, let's keep trucking.
No problem. I know there's a couple people out there, I'm sure, who are laughing, going, shh, keep going. All right, here we go. So, organize and keep it manageable. Now, I can tell you that I do spend a majority of my time actually preparing for my postings. If you talk to me for any amount of time, you'll hear me babble about pre-tweeting. I got a pre-tweet. But the first thing I do is I take a look at calendars. I want to identify when it is that I want to post, when I want to pre-write. So I actually do sit down and I have pre-writers, pre-tweeters, researchers that we come together and we have certain days that our drafts are due. And this is super manageable. Please listen to me. I know the internet sales managers out there, this is going to be a time saver, and it may not seem like it, but it is. Actually sit down and write a calendar for the week. Give yourself about a half hour to write postings, one posting for every Facebook straight across the board, as far as a posting per day on that Facebook page. Now, I didn't really have a chance to get into Twitter too much, and I sing its praises, but get out there an average of 6 times a day, and some of you are going to shoot me on that one, but make it manageable. You can actually break it down to 2 retweets or quote retweets, 2 original contents, and 2 actual networking tweets where you're out there identifying your customers, you're responding. So get out there. But even your quote retweets, you can actually pre-write those. You can identify a day or 2 ahead of time as, well, that's relevant. That's a good article that I did want to share. Go ahead and pick it up and pre-write that. But give yourself about a half hour once a week and pre-write. And I know some people are going to ask me about automating. Very rarely do I automate. I'm actually out there hands-on, and so is my team. So, because I do believe in networking. But actually schedule when you're going to post and make it like a diet. Make it so that when you get up and you're having breakfast, bing, bing, there goes 2. Heck, I break it down so that I'm out there about every 45 minutes, depends on the account, 45 minutes to an hour to an hour and a half. But I actually do have certain stop points that I'll just go ahead and send out that draft that I've already written. And so I can't emphasize that enough. Really, 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 truly.
Excuse me, Rachel. We do have a couple of questions about what you're saying, so I'm going to pose these now instead of holding them to the end. But first of all, Michael said, could you say that again? How many tweets a day?
Thank you. I know I sound a little bit like Rain Man when I get into this because I love it. 6. Take a look at an average of 6, and it's not as difficult as it sounds. And I'm going to speak slowly. 2 retweets or quote retweets, and you can do one at 8 a.m. and another one of those at 3 p.m. 2 original tweets. Now, that's a little bit more your agenda. That's the information that you're sharing. Go ahead and send those out, and you can maybe do that one at 10 o'clock and another one at, let's see, where I'm at, 1 o'clock. And then your interaction. And so these are the mentions that you receive, and those are just going to pepper in when they pepper in. When you receive that mention, respond as quickly as you can. Certainly don't break your neck if you're driving. Don't do anything like that, but do respond as quickly as you can. And so overall, I think you'll find that you have about six tweets out there a day, and it's a nice momentum.
Okay, thank you very much. We're gonna keep going, but we do have to. We do have a lot of questions coming in, by the way. So.
Oh, good. All right, I'll move very, very quickly here. We're gonna take it offline. Now, I'd mentioned to you I love Twitter so much. When you know that you have an online relationship, when you have somebody in your community who is interacting with you in a positive way, pick up the phone and say thank you. Ask to speak to the person who handles their online presence and say, hey, this is Rachel over here at Mouthful Social Media, and please don't use my name. But I'd like to say thank you for your online interaction. And furthermore, I'd love to bring you some sandwiches or some coffee or some donuts. Would you like that? If they say yes, fantastic. Something that I do are test drive events, and where we actually bring out sandwiches. We'll take out sandwiches and a few vehicles for an hour. Let them just have fun for lunch hour, and we highlight them on our Facebook. This is something that you can do once a week. But you don't even have to take it that far. Just pick up the phone and tell them thank you, and that's it. We'd love to feature you on our Facebook. Would you mind? If they say no, no problem. But you still made a friend, and you're creating that top-of-mind awareness. Send them some coupons. Do something. But it's a reason to talk to people, and to me, that's a lead opportunity. Because I love, it's fantastic. Great way to get out there and let people know what you do. So just to quickly recap, takeaways. Tag and mention in postings as often as possible, but make sure that these are appropriate people and it's appropriate content. Listen and involve your customers and team members. They really count. Just hear what they have to say, whether good, bad, ugly. Make sure that your content reflects that. Keep your content manageable, organized, and consistent. Anything done with consistency produces results. I am always saying that. If you're out there each and every day with a big smile on your face using that same tone, boy oh boy, and you know the likes are coming in, fantastic, it's working, keep doing it. Do it every day. Set that calendar. And the last thing, take it offline. So don't be afraid to just reach out to these online relationships. They're car buyers.
Okay, before we go any further, Rachel, I got to ask you to go back and just do that zigzag tag thing again, because we had a number of people who kind of didn't see exactly what you're doing. And when you're doing it, why don't you explain to everyone exactly what you're doing?
Okay, no problem.
So that they get it. I mean, what you did was you pre-wrote it, right?
Mm-hmm. I did. I pre-wrote it. And actually, you know what? Let's go back here and take a look at what's happening. Okay. Here we go. So just taking a look at the zigzag tag, what I did, and actually we didn't even get any likes on that one, so we didn't get any likes on this. I'll go ahead and like it. So if you all wouldn't mind visiting Auto Dealer Chat and liking that, that'd be great. So you can see I posted this. Now this only has one. What happened is when I zigzag tagged, it actually took on a life of its own. It appeared on CJ's page as well as Ed and Aren. Oh, and somebody else was tagged. Look at somebody else tagged somebody else. So now we have 4 likes that happened from here. I'll go ahead and like that again. Now, Okay, given it's only been about 40 minutes, just keep watching. This thing is going to take on a life of its own. After a while, it is going to get more and more and more likes. So please, if you're friends with them, do check in on their page. That's Mark, Aren, and CJ, and Ed. And you'll start to see that take effect. Now, if you're not friends with them, you can still go right up here. So, you know what? I will go ahead and walk you through this just very quickly one more time. And right up here, went ahead and pre-wrote this posting.
In order to do a zigzag tag, does it need to have a photo? Does it need to have a link? What does it need?
That's the beauty of it, is that you definitely want to make sure that you have a link that has a photo where you can upload that image. Because I realized that when I was posting this, there was no way on earth I could possibly tag anyone in a posting, but I can tag someone in a photo. So that's where I kind of changed it a little bit. So there is no way for me to tag this photo. Once I post this, it is not a photo, it is a link. And so by creating up here, by uploading that photo, it automatically deposits right up into the album section. And I'm going to...
I see.
You know what, and let's go back just really fast because I do want to show you Andrew's is probably the best example.
So you just don't want to use the thumbnail. The thumbnail's no good.
The thumbnail's horrible. Okay, so excuse me. Okay, just beginning right here. Here is the original posting. Have a question. So I posted this. I have the link. Now, instead of accepting the thumbnail that this offered me, what I did is I took a screenshot of the actual page, the website that I was on. Now, I uploaded that in place of the picture on the last one. So I didn't accept this. Instead, I uploaded this photo. Now, then I removed, right here you can see I removed that link, so please do that. And it deposited right into the album section. And you can see right there in the photos. And what happened is I had one posting that's right here that appeared on the page. So the posting that I just showed you that I liked that didn't have any likes yet, at Auto Dealer Chat, please do go like that, you can actually see that this one has a different number of likes than this one here on the right does. Because when I uploaded that photo and I popped out of the page, I tagged that photo. That photo then deposited right on Andrew's personal Facebook page.
Okay, so David wrote in, so you're posting a post and also a photo.
Yes.
Okay, and Amanda wrote in, so you use the image as a thumbnail, but you also upload that as a picture and then tag people in the picture. Because if you just left it as a thumbnail, you can't tag anyone with the thumbnail, but you can tag them with a picture. Is that right?
Perfect. You got it. That's
Okay.
it right there. You got the zigzag tag.
My question is, audience, did you get it? Okay, people are writing in that they got it. Much better understanding now. Perfect. Got it. Thank you so much. Got it. Awesome idea. Perfect. Now we got it. All right.
Yay.
Now, what is... Okay, so in order to do a zigzag tag, A, you have to have, you know, what you're going to say about the link. B, you have to have a link. C, you got to have a picture. D, what am I missing? You got to have somebody to tag, right?
You got to have somebody to tag, yes.
And is there anything else we're missing?
Nope, that's it. That's all she wrote.
There's nothing else.
You're good. You got it. You got it. So yeah, I absolutely love watching that picture come alive because you can see just one person tagged, and this was the first time we did it. Now, I have done the zigzag tag before lightly on Contact at Once. You do want to make sure that you have the right team members assembled for that. You definitely want to make sure that you are monitoring that. So big deal. Very, very big deal. And if you want, I can go ahead. Did you want me to move forward to some of the slides and just the Q&A slide?
Yes, let's do that. Let's do that.
Okay, no problem. And if you don't mind, I'm going to just move forward.
Audience, thank you so much for hanging in there with us.
Nobody wants me to.
Oh, actually, we do have a
point here. So, okay, so we're on the Q&A.
Yes. So, audience, we're going to get to some of your awesome questions. They do have really great questions for you, Rachel, by the way. Before we do that, we do have a giveaway. There you go. So it's that time. If you missed it at the beginning of the webinar, well, I announced that our good friends at Mouthful Social Media are giving away a fantastic prize today on the webinar. One of you lucky webinar attendees is going to be winning 3 months of free, comprehensive Facebook management from Mouthful Social Media. And for more information about their amazing services, you can visit mouthfulsocialmedia.com. But just so you know, that 3 months of comprehensive Facebook management, that is a phenomenal prize for your dealership, and that prize is valued at $2,300. Boom. But all you have to do is answer a simple question about the presentation. So get ready, peoples. I wish everyone could win, but only one person can win. But the first one to write in the correct response is going to be walking away with this amazing prize today. So get to your keyboards, get ready, and good luck, everyone. I got to say, this is not an easy question. It's not a lay-down question. You had to really be listening to get this one. So I wish you all the very best of luck. Here we go. The question is, what is the critical item that you must add to a photo when zigzag tagging? When zigzag tagging, what is a critical item that you must add to a photo? And unfortunately, no one got it correct yet. No. They did not get it correct. Is there another word for what you gave me? Because no one got it right. I didn't think you said it that often. I was trying to pull it out of you because I didn't think you said it often enough. Yeah, no one got it.
Okay.
Is there another word for the word that you gave me?
Yes.
Well, then say it, and I'll see if somebody wrote it.
Sure, no problem. Link or website?
Link or website. Okay, the word we were looking for was source, everyone. So a lot of people wrote tag, but the first person to write the word link was Tracy Langford Miller. Congratulations, Tracy Langford Miller. You are today's winner. Yes, what we were looking for was source. We wanted the source of the picture, but we'll accept link. Thank you so much for that. So Tracy,
congratulations.
Tracy, you're our winner. Thank you so much. And what we want to do, Tracy, is find out what dealership you're from so we can give you a proper congratulations. You just won yourself $2,300 prize of 3 months of comprehensive Facebook management from Mouthful Social Media. Congratulations. She is from Langford Ford in La Belle, Florida. Congratulations, Tracy. Why, do you know them?
No, congratulations. I'm just so excited. Good job.
And so congratulations, Tracy. I'm sure you're going to enjoy that. And, of course, we want to thank Mouthful Social Media for their incredible generosity. So thank you so much. And now we're going to move forward with questions from the audience. Are you ready, Rachel?
I sure am.
Okay, let's get to this. So first question came in early. No, put it on the picture with you. The slide with you. There you go. And, you can turn on your webcam if you'd like. That would be wonderful. So our first question came in early when we asked people what networks they were on. And
I know. I'm sorry. You know what? I'm trying to get to my little webcam here, so I won't goof it up. All right, I'll just leave it.
So people want to know, like Joseph wanted to know how you feel about Instagram since it wasn't listed. And, of course, I was trying to write back to as many people as possible. We only had 5 choices that we could put on there, so we couldn't put any more than 5. But people did want to know how you felt about Instagram.
I absolutely love Instagram. And I'll tell you, definitely you want to go with something visual. And Instagram is a wonderful example of both visual. You can index the information. Love it. And I would, because let's face it, you need people to see what you sell, but it's eye candy. So definitely I would recommend not just for the sake of the images, but like I was saying, the fact that you can actually quickly reference using hashtags and such. And in fact, there's a phenomenon that's happening on the East Coast. People
Really?
are actually, yeah, I swear, it's the coolest thing. I mean, it's weird, but it's graffiti. People are actually putting, and I forget the acronym, but it's follow me on, say, FMOL, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and they're actually putting their names on there. So, yeah, that's popping out. So you might want to consider adding that to your ads. But yeah, it is happening out there.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Joseph, great question. I wanted to know too. Next question comes to you from Jeff. And Jeff says, and this is a great question, Jeff, very, very intuitive. He asks, have you seen an increase in fans unliking your pages because you're tagging them? That's always a concern. Always a concern.
Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. And as a matter of fact, Kaufman GMC was a great example where they had 42 new likes. We did not put a penny on that page that week. I really wanted to see if this tag was going to work and exactly what it would organically do to a brand new page. And that's what happened. So, yeah, definitely I see an increase. Oh, yes.
Okay, now we know. Okay, next question goes to Ralph. Ralph says, do you have anything on Hootsuite today? So do you even use Hootsuite? Because you kind of said you didn't use.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
But it is a great tool.
It's a wonderful tool. But no, I know you probably see some tweets going out there, and actually I have my phone in my hand. So sorry. But no, I don't use Hootsuite. I very much log in hands-on. Actually love looking at the accounts. No, love it.
Okay, got it. Okay, Ralph, there you go. There's your answer. Okay, next question comes to you from Michael. Actually, I'm wondering if this is just semantics or if there really is a difference. He says, can you clarify the difference between interaction and engagement? Is there a difference?
Yes, absolutely. To me, as far as interaction, and I know it is semantics. Interaction, that is something, to me, when I am looking at that, is different than engagement, because engagement is more of a conversation. Interaction is a very quick, just that interaction. But engagement is where you actually are engaging that person and you have a prolonged relationship with them. And when I say prolonged, it's more than just
prolonged
yes, no.
Prolonged in social media.
Prolonged,
that's like
yeah, I know. Prolonged meaning more than one mention. How's that? It's a conversation.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Okay. I hope that answers your question, Michael. Thank you so much for the. And you know what? I never really thought about that. I kind of use those terms interchangeably, but they're really not. So thank you for that. Excellent. Okay, next question comes to us from Jeff. He says, how many of the new likes are local to the dealership? I believe this is when you were talking about step number 2, and you were showing, how many new likes that dealership had gotten from a series of posts.
Absolutely. That's the really coolest part. I always say all my clients, they're all my favorite. But I had one of my very favorite clients sent me an email one day with the stats. And he said, this is where your strategy is really paying off. Fewer likes, greater interaction, more relevant people. And what was happening is by doing this tag, we were slowly increasing incremental gains. These are solid likes. These are people that as soon as they got there, we were watching our stats climb. So it did create a nice momentum. So these are people who are incredibly relevant. These are people who are friends with the people you have tagged, friends and family of the people you've tagged. And so those are very relevant local people. Sometimes you'll get your aunt, like poor Andrew, but no, very relevant and local people.
Oh, before she goes, because Michelle has to leave us, but she says, I have to go, but can you tell me how to find a social media vendor? Michelle, I'm getting your question in now, so don't leave yet. Rachel, do you have any advice on how somebody goes and finds a social media vendor that's going to handle their social media the way they want it to be handled?
Yes. I would first start by taking a look at some of the accounts that you admire. Take a look at what's happening with them online, and I wouldn't be afraid to reach out to them. But also, too, pay attention to what people are saying on social networks. I can tell you almost all of my, actually all of my clients are referral based. They're all sent to me, hey, so-and-so recommended that I give you a call. Twitter is tremendous because pay attention to what's being said under the auto marketing hashtags. Pay attention to different hashtags. And you actually will see people talking about vendors who they admire. Pay attention to dealer on webinars. Pay attention to what's happening with conferences and take the time to research the social media professionals. And don't be afraid to find out what accounts do they manage. Do you like how they manage it? And there you go.
Well, Michelle, I hope that helped you out. Certainly, if you have a follow-up question, get it in before you leave. I'll ask right away, I promise. Okay, next question comes to us from Michael. Oh, this is a really good question, too. He says, how many, well, we don't know how many, but do you know of an outside service vendor that can provide training for the marketing person? Or you know, for the person who does the Facebooking in-house. Do we know anyone?
Oh, yeah. That would be me. Yeah.
I didn't know you provided training. I thought you just did it for them. You do training too?
You know, I do. I always say I'm the Jerry Maguire of social media.
Okay.
So, yeah, I actually really enjoy, each and every client has their own tailored product. So I actually do take the time to figure out, as a matter of fact, one of my long-standing clients started out as a 3-month commitment. They asked me to go in, clean it up, work the account for a couple of months, and train one person in particular. And they ended up staying for over 2 years now. They're still here. But I do recommend with some of the smaller dealerships that you do look at training. So yeah, I absolutely tailor and do all of that. Other than that, you know, and I hate to say it, I really don't know who else out there provides social media training, and I know plenty of people do. But sometimes you just need a head start and then a handoff, and so I do that. So yeah, absolutely
very
happy
cool.
to help.
Very cool. That is very helpful. Okay, so Michael, great question. I hope that helped you out. Let's go to this question from AJ. Hey, AJ. AJ. Okay, so when we were talking about that poll question where I put you on the spot and said, so how much should a dealership be charging, you know, should be spending, right? You had said somewhere in the neighborhood of, you know, without seeing any other information, maybe $500, $600 on average per month, right? He wanted to know, you said per network. Is that per network including management fees or just per network, you know, boom?
You know what? That's per network, and that is with partial management. You know, I'm trying to keep it reasonable. You know, where I look at it, I go, if you're looking at a nice package, you should be able to look at around. You know what though? Closer to 600. I mean, just being honest, because in terms of engagement, the management fees and that sort of thing, you are looking at $500–600, but that does include management. It should include that. I can tell you that because right now, and it is very tough to prove an ROI off of something like Facebook, you do have to be very creative. You know, I think that a lot of dealers question the value. So providing the value and showing where you have those offline lead opportunities is key for that price. But yeah, I don't think you should expect to pay an arm and a leg.
Okay, all right. Oh, and then AJ followed up with, beats the heck out of a $1,500 newspaper ad.
Oh,
you got that
right. Oh, man.
I got to tell you, though, I mean, a $1,500 for a newspaper ad is actually pretty cheap because, you know, I live just outside of Philly. Dude, they sometimes charge $10,000 for one of those full pagers. So $1,500, you're getting off pretty cheap wherever you are. Okay, so let's get to this next question from Ray. Ray says, can you recommend a social media management tool? Is there one you like, Rachel?
You know, I guess it depends. I mean, what is it? I would have to ask, what is it? Are you hoping to just kind of set it and forget it, pre-write, and then and then just set it up and forget it. Because I wouldn't, to be honest with you, no. If you're going to just pre-post and do that sort of thing, I'm going to tell you no. Facebook, no.
What if you wanted to do it? What if you spent like a half hour in the morning pre-writing your stuff, and then you use some kind of a tool to actually post it for you throughout the day, so you don't have to keep going back to it,
And there are wonderful tools out there. I know we had mentioned Hootsuite. It has come such a long way compared to 4 or 5 years ago. You had all kinds of goof-ups with links and what was happening with thumbnails. So Hootsuite is always very strong. But as far as like Facebook, you absolutely, and I do run into this, holidays are the only time that I will ever consider pre-posting as far as that goes. But yeah, Hootsuite's very effective these days. So, and I know plenty of people who really enjoy it.
All right.
It is very intuitive.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, Ray, you got your marching tools. Sometimes you just got to try a bunch out and see which ones you like too. So let's go to this next question from Tina. She was surprised that you pre-wrote your tweets. She's very shocked, by the way. How do you pre-write your tweets? And is there a clock in Twitter the same as Facebook? So how do you do that? I mean, you just pre-write them and then you go back to your computer and then you post them at certain times during the day?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's what
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. How do you pre-write them? You can absolutely look through and find a nice blend of information that you'd like to share. I'll sit down and write, 10 OEM tweets at a time and save those in a document, whatever you're comfortable with. And I'll break it down per day, but I definitely have the best team in the world. They're constantly out there researching and pre-tweeting and sending me reviews and drafts. But yeah, just simply you can pre-tweet anything. You can pre-write. It's just like writing a paper before it's due.
I got you. Okay, so Tina, I hope that helped you out. I'm going to get to this next question from Pavel. He says, what about tagging other companies? And I believe he wrote this when you redid the explanation about the zigzag tag. So when you tag those other people, can you tag other companies? Is that okay? Especially if you have partnerships?
Okay. Definitely, so long as you have their permission, so long as they're willing and they really want to participate in that, please do get their okay on it. I think that, as I mentioned when I was posting earlier with CJ, that I said I do have permission to go ahead and put Motorworks in here. So, and CJ did give me permission, as did Andrew Lemaster. So you always want to make sure that you have their permission, they're willing participants. Otherwise, they're just going to ignore you.
There you go. Okay. And, Michael didn't ask the question, but he wrote in great point. Okay, so there you go. Pavel, if you have a follow-up question, please write on in and let me know. Okay, we have a great question from Curtis. He says, is there a point that you feel tagging for maximum visibility somehow becomes spammy? And that is a great question. Where is the breaking point when you stop getting, what's that point of no return where you should say no, you just got to stop? So.
Excellent question, and thank you for asking that, because I will emphasize this until I'm blue in the face. Don't overdo it. It is going to be so ineffective if you overdo it. One way of doing this is you can simply assign, and I do have a safeguard in place. So as the manager, I am only allowed to tag as their manager, their page manager. I am only allowed to tag the general manager at that store along with his right-hand person, Nadine. Everybody needs a Nadine in life. And so I'm able to tag the two of them. From there, they can then tag the team members that they feel are appropriate. And I say that because I'm not always on site when stuff happens, so I don't know if somebody moves from one store to the other, they're still with the company. So I may tag them with the wrong OEM or whatever it is. So this allows them to use discretion. If they don't want that tag to go anywhere else, they just put a kibosh on it. They can either remove their tag, they don't have to accept it, whatever it is, they can just stop it right there. However, they usually don't. Another way of doing this is, and I would plan with like an ABC team or an AB team, where you know that once a week you're going to tag Team A, meaning you have 4 or 5 people. Because the cool part is, and I'm going to reiterate this, the posting appears not only on the business page, but it also appears on the number of Facebook, on personal Facebook fan pages of the people whom you have tagged. And so, and again, you need their permission in many cases in order to have that appear. So definitely don't overdo it. And a nice way is to have rotating teams. You have, you know, a few team members here on Team A, and you roll them in on Monday, Tuesday B, and you can create it however you'd like. But, you know, please, sparingly,
Okay.
no more than once a week.
Okay, all right, cool. Curtis, I hope that helped you out, and thank you for, because, you know, people hear a good idea, they're like, yeah, let's do it every time.
No, please don't. I'm going to get a ton of hate mail on that one.
I would, you know, that's why God invented Oreos, or whoever invented Oreos. Okay, here we go. Next question comes from AJ. He says, what's a hashtag? Very funny, AJ. But seriously, this one comes from Courtney, and she says, what are your thoughts on hashtags on Facebook?
You know, okay, now thank you for asking that, because I do know that, and there's been quite a few different articles out there that are talking about, you know, is it effective? Studies are coming out that it's not very effective on Facebook. I think that's your preference. I'm a hashtag queen. I love using hashtags and everything from text messages to tweets. And so I use it as a fun way to express myself.
But not necessarily to do anything about it, right?
You know, I'm looking at it, and I know everybody's saying it's not as effective as it should be. It's not like Twitter. It certainly is not as effective as it should be on Facebook. However, I will say this. People are using it. Just give it a whirl. Give it a whirl. If it proves not to be effective, I wouldn't overdo it. I certainly wouldn't add more than one if you're looking at Facebook. But certainly make sure that it counts or it stands for something. But effectiveness, no, that hasn't been proven, I'm afraid.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you so much for the great question, Courtney. Now, listen, we have just a handful of questions left. And since my audience is still sticking around, then Rachel and I are going to keep sticking around too. So let's get through these last few questions together, okay? This one comes from William, and he says, for an auto group, would Rachel recommend an individual Facebook page for each store or just one group page? And I tell you, probably one of the most common questions I have whenever I do a social media webinar. And I'm surprised that not more people, like there's not one particular consensus on this. Everyone seems to have a little bit of a different thing. So what do you think a group should do?
You know, okay, and that is an excellent question. That is something that I am asked all the time. We talked about it during the practice session, and I have had to address this. Now, it depends on your goals. I can tell you that it is really tough because OEMs are very touchy. I happen to have managed, it was a store that actually has several OEMs under one roof. In that case, we decided that what we were going to do was manage it as a group and break out each of the OEMs under that one page as opposed to managing individual pages. And for the sake of optimization, I would recommend an individual page, a page per OEM, not to mention, at some point I do look for OEMs to actually break apart those group pages because they are a little touchy. You know, Honda may not want to be next to Toyota and so on. So it just depends on your goals. I can tell you for optimization purposes, I would look at individual pages. For simplicity and budget, I would look at an umbrella page. But remember, at some point, you may end up having to break that apart. And it's at the OEM's discretion.
Interesting. I was also going to say, for the people who like the Facebook page, some people could care less about, you know, the big pickup trucks that you sell, but because they like minis, you know what I mean? So, I don't know.
But then again, you also want to make sure that you educate your audience on what it is that you have to offer. And, whether that's a chat service that you offer chat, or if you offer heavy-duty vehicles, you want to make sure that you have an in-house body shop that specializes in something. You definitely want to make sure that you're addressing your audience's needs and that you educate them on what you have to offer.
Gotcha. Okay, let's get to this question from our friend AJ. AJ says, what is a good PTAT? And that stands for people talking about this percentage. What's a good PTAT in your opinion?
Ooh.
I think a good one would be 100, but it's just me.
No, and that's, and absolutely, and I'll tell you, that really does get tough, because when you're looking at how each of the statistics or numbers, how they interact with one another, I hate to say this, I don't have an answer for you, AJ, because it really depends on that particular page. I think that a page that's starting out is definitely going to have a lower percentage. I think if you see an incremental increase, you're headed in the right direction.
So we just want an increase. Is that all we're saying?
We keep moving up. Keep moving up. If you're not seeing an improvement, if your numbers are not moving up straight across the board, and you are going to have that lull where it is definitely a bow up and down, but you do need those incremental gains. If you're not seeing those incremental gains straight across the board on every number, you're doing something wrong.
Okay, so let's be honest. Let's say we have a Facebook page that's been around a while, okay? And now we take a look at our PTAT, okay? I mean, at what point should we be concerned? I mean, is 20? Is that when we get concerned? 30? Is it? I mean, how low of a PTAT is not good enough?
I definitely think you always want to look for at least, if you don't have about a 20 to 25% PTAT, if you're not looking at something like that, I'm kind of wondering what's going on. And it is tough to move that crowd, but you should ideally be working up towards that.
I hear ya. Okay, AJ, not that I have to worry about you, but good luck, my friend. Okay, we still have some more questions rolling in. You people are relentless, and I love it. Okay, next question comes from Adam. He wants to know if you can recommend a tool that helps him find the most effective time to post. Ooh, good question.
Ooh, yes, and there are actually a couple of different really cool tools out there. And so definitely, that's funny, because I was just talking about that, and there's a really good one. Social Bro is something that I had just come across. It was recommended to me. One of my clients and I were talking, and so I actually did look into this, and I went, wow, this is pretty amazing. But there are certainly some wonderful tools out there. But yeah, Social Bro is very cool as far as identifying that. So definitely you can identify.
Okay, great. And Adam, thank you so much. That was a good question.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, let's see. Let's go to this question from Pavel again. What do you think about sharing brother companies that are in the same auto group, whether it's the same car brand and different?
I actually, and I do believe in supporting, yes, definitely support your brother, sister store. It depends. As an example, if there's an event, something that's going on, a special driver's event, definitely make sure to cheer each other on so long as it's relevant, but please don't run your one account into the ground for the sake of supporting the other account. You're going to lose credibility. So I think once or twice when you have an event, maybe sharing some nice photos. Love seeing what's happening over at blank. So long as they're not a competing store by far. I mean, you don't want them to compete.
Right. But let's say they're having a Alex's Lemonade stand on some Saturday, Wouldn't it be nice if the other store said, if you're in town, it'd be really nice if you stop by our sister store over there, they're having a fundraiser for Alex's Lemonade. I mean, come on. How could anyone say no to that?
Right. I mean, you're just giving a nice shout out. Don't overdo it, but definitely it's nice to have support for the other store. And in fact, you definitely see that anytime you go to an automotive conference where you have people who are supporting one another because they like each other.
Pavel, thank you for the great question. Okay, we're going to keep on trucking with Roger's question, too. He says, would you differ your Facebook posts from your Twitter tweets? Or would you post the same on both?
That depends.
What?
Because, hold on now, because I think that there are times, and I say same as in there are times when you definitely have a quotation that is effective. However, I will tell you that when it comes to Facebook, there's a lot of differences between that and Twitter. If you were to take the same posting, just a quotation, a simple quotation, when you're putting it out on Twitter, you're going to put out that quotation, cite your source, hashtag it, make sure that you have the appropriate hashtags. But then if you were going to share that quotation on Facebook, okay, what are you doing with that? There's so much more that you could possibly do. Make sure that it's a relevant quotation that refers to the link that you're going to share. Because as often as possible, when it comes to posting, you want to make sure that you have that call to action. You don't just want to post for the sake of posting. You actually want to make sure that you're engaging them, that you're increasing your clicks to your website, that you're introducing material, that you're actually trying to persuade them to do business with you. So you always want to have, just like a traditional ad, that call to action. Twitter's different because you don't always have that space. You can't always display an image and a link. You may not have room for a hashtag, which I'll tell you the most important thing when you're tweeting is you want to have hashtags. So that's how that would differ definitely with Facebook. And I know there was the question earlier, what about hashtags on Facebook? I personally, other than me personally enjoying them, no, I don't use them on my business pages when I post on Facebook. I just think it looks a little dangling. It's just, to me, I don't care for it. They ask me to manage it a certain way, and that's a preference. There you go. So I hope that answered the question.
Roger, I hope that answer helps you out. And with that, Rachel Harrow, we are done. Thank you so much for your inspired presentation. You really showed our people today some really new things that they're definitely not been doing on social media. This is really, really eye-opening. And I want to thank you, of course, for your time. And is there anything you'd like to say to the audience, Rachel?
Thank you all. Thank you to everyone who attended. This has been exciting, and I loved your questions. Big shout out to everyone at Motorworks and Contact at Once and Kaufman. So yeah, thank you again. And AJ, you tweeted my fingers off over here. I was tweeting with AJ while I was doing the webinar. So, but anyway, thank you. I hope to talk to you all soon.
Okay, stay right there, Rachel. Of course, I want to remind the audience that a link to download a copy of this webinar recording is going to be emailed to you later today for your reference. Please feel free to share it with friends and colleagues. Today's webinar will also be posted online within 24 hours. So just go to dealeron.com/webinars. You can view our upcoming webinar schedule or access any of our past webinars too. And hey, this webinar is going to conclude in just a minute. And you're going to receive a short survey. So fill it out because we're always looking for great feedback from our audience. Today we're going to randomly select a couple of people from all the completed surveys, they got to be completed surveys, to also win some Google prizes. So please fill out that survey. We really want to know what you thought about today's presentation. And I want to let you know, yes, DealerOn is going to be at the upcoming Digital Dealer Convention in Atlantic City, May 6th through the 8th. We'll be at booth 623. It's going to be awesome. If you're going to be there, please come see me at booth 623. And check out our speaking sessions from not one, but two of our EVPs here at DealerOn. You definitely don't want to miss them. And if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, well, DealerOn's here to help with that. We have an exclusive discount code. It's going to save you $100 off the ticket. So use the discount code on the screen when you register. It actually expires tomorrow. But for more information or to get your tickets, go check out digitaldealerconference.com. And invitations will be going out tomorrow for our next DealerOn webinar, Crucial Call Center Strategies that Generate Maximum ROI. This one's going to be with Bill Wittenmeyer of eLead One. Rachel, can you go to the next slide for me?
Sure,
Perfect.
there you go.
Dealers all across the country spend literally tens of thousands of dollars every month attempting to motivate consumers to call the dealership, only to see much of that money wasted. Most do not even see a moderate return on their investment. Are you one of them? Well, if you're ready to improve your ROI for your sales and marketing strategies, then join us for this eye-opening 1-hour webinar with Bill Wittenmeyer. This thrilling presentation will cover the benefits of investing in a call center, from lead generation and nurturing to intelligent messaging to strategic follow-up techniques. Bill will then discuss measurable key tactics that produce maximum results in sales, profits, and customer retention before he highlights profit-building strategies that are proven to completely manage the customer life cycle and maximize the lifetime value. So if you're ready to learn crucial call center strategies that will generate maximum ROI, well then this is a webinar you can't afford to miss. Don't forget, Dealeron's weekly webinars are held every Thursday, 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. We have amazing webinar subjects planned for this year. But if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions regarding our webinars and our topics, well, hey, contact me directly. I love hearing from you. My name is Eliana Raggio. You can track me down online. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+. I'm on all the automotive social networks. I dare you. Find me, or you can email me directly at eliana@dealeron.com. Thank you all so very much for spending this time with us today, and I hope to see you all on a future webinar in our continuing education series. Take care.